I want to thank you all for having me here today, and I want to thank or acknowledge that we are on the land of the traditional and unceded territory of Chwakwa people of the Tiet tribe. My name is Megan Stokehorst. My pronouns are she, they. I am a founding member of Hope Pride. But before I get into that, I want to share a little bit about my story. I always knew I was queer. In fact, I had to learn what straight was. Like, I legitimately always knew I was queer. Just as I always knew I was growing up in a town that was not safe for me. I'll be clear, it wasn't Hope, no offense, but it was a town there that I knew I wasn't as welcome. That teachers, business owners, parents of my friends, sometimes even my peers, and even political leaders did not accept me for who I was and did not feel safe or comfortable with me expressing who I was. And so I masked. I hid who I was to protect my grades, to protect my safety, and then I got out of that town as soon as I could. Hope Pride really got started in October of 2022, which means we're very new, so please give us grace. We are a committee of local queer leaders, service providers, youth, as you've seen tonight, as well as we have a couple of straight allies we allow join us from time to time. Our committee has designated 3 areas of focus for our work. This includes creating safe spaces for the LGBTQIS2 Spirit Plus community. It includes supporting the queer youth of Hope, of which there are many. And I honestly don't think those who are straight and cisgender recognize just how strong of a queer community we have within our schools. As well as education. We're big on education. We came out of our metaphorical closet with our first event this past February called Dorothy's Cabinet. It was a space that created community connection and allowed for safe exploration of gender expression. It was a queer clothing swap. And we had about 9 folks come and join us that night. And they didn't just grab clothes and leave, they stayed. They formed connections with one another, and they found a support system and people who were like them that they hadn't necessarily seen clearly identified in this community before. Coming up next, our big project is the first official Pride Month for the town of Hope. We have 7 events planned throughout June, which include a free community barbecue, a free concert featuring the band Queer as Funk, which I have to say, they'll make you dance. We have planned a rainbow paint day, drag queen story time, and we are reopening Dorothy's Cabinet. Today, I wanted to plant some seeds with you. Maybe I started last week when I was gifting some seeds, and I don't know if anybody noticed the colors of the seeds, maybe made up a rainbow. But I want to share some small ways that you, as individuals, can support the queer community here in this community. You can support us on social media, share our events, share our posts, talk about your acceptance of the LGBTQ plus community. You can wear the pin that we have gifted you today wherever possible and whenever possible, ideally in public spaces to show your support. And we can plant those seeds we gave you and grow your own little rainbow garden. However, the biggest impact that the district can make with the least amount of effort and the least resources is raising the pride flag for the month of June. The flag for our community, and by our community I mean the queer community, is a symbol of inclusion. It is a symbol that we don't welcome homophobia or transphobia in our community. It is a symbol of belonging, of safety, and it shows to us in the community that those who have power and privilege support us. And it's an important step for the queer community to not live in fear, to not be afraid of being outed or ostracized by your friends and family, or losing employment or being harassed on the street just for loving somebody and being authentic to who you are. The flag is a symbol created for the community by the community, and it tells us that you're listening and that you actually care. Raising the flag is an authentic and meaningful show of solidarity with our community, and a way to tell us that the district means its support truly means its support and isn't just providing lip service to our community. Hope has a strong community of queer youth, like I said. And I would hate to see my story of masking and hiding and pretending and then leaving as soon as I possibly could to be repeated with the upcoming generation. The future of hope. And I will take any questions.
Any questions from council? Yes. Kristen?
Thank you so much for coming. And I really am so proud to have you stand here and speak your truth and feel comfortable doing it, and welcome. Welcome to council. And you can speak that so much more clearly than I can. I come to the meetings and I report out about the Hope Inclusion Project, and you've done such a great job.
Thank you.
So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
No. We love your enthusiasm.
I hope you might love my flag too.
We will consider that.
Thank you.
Thank
We have a report dated March 17th, 2023, from the Director of Corporate Services regarding the Hope Prize Committee fundraising request. And this is from the last council meeting, where the committee made a presentation to council and asked if they would consider raising the pride flag for the month of June. And it's up for council's discussion and direction to staff.
Okay, so we're open for discussion on this?
Just want to make it clear on what they're asking. They want to hang their pride flag on which flagpole?
That would be, I guess, up to, if council directs us, then we would have to take one of the flags that are flying currently in front of the building down. We haven't had a specific request for where or which pole.
Okay, and has there been other groups that have requested the same thing?
Not that I'm aware of. I'm not aware in my tenure here of flying a different flag.
Anyone else? So, I've talked to other communities and that, and what they've done is they've stayed neutral because they're concerned about the issues from all the other ones that have come forward to them, and they're scared about legalities of turning one down and promoting another one. So it's not a good thing. It's unfortunate, but not everybody plays nice in the sandbox. But that's it. But it's up to council to decide what they wish to do. And want me to call the question, or would you like more discussion?
There isn't even a motion.
Yeah.
I'd like to comment.
Yeah.
I think that the presentation that Megan made on behalf of Hope Pride was very compelling. We have a very diverse population. We have very high LGBTQ plus community. Many of these are young people. You know, as Megan stated, in other communities, people who identify as LGBTQ don't feel safe in their own community. And I think that a community that is inclusive of everybody who lives there and everybody who comes and visits, that is very important, especially during Pride Month. It's an actual month designated for accepting diversity and inclusion and including everybody in our community.
Mr. Wells?
In the idea of keeping our town inclusive, it's best if our government or local bodies stay neutral. We have religious groups that do not agree with LGBTQ. So what are we saying to them if we decide to fly their flag? We're now ostracizing our own community, members that live in our community. The best way to support it would just be and not fly it, in my opinion.
Any conversation?
There is no motion on the table.
No, Jack.
Okay, so I think that my position would be that I want Hope to be an inclusive community. And remaining neutral, I'm sorry, it is not, that statement says I don't want to make a decision. That statement says to me, I don't want to leave. That statement says to me, I'm not ready to be bold in my leadership in this community. And to say that it is okay for people to be accepted for their sexual orientation or gender expression. It is not okay to bow down to people for reasons that they hate people who they don't even know. And I'm sorry, but flying this flag, to me, is important. It came to us, it was a request. And had the request never came, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation, and that is unfortunate. However, the request has come to us from our community, and they have said that flying this flag is important to them. As a person who is often excluded because of a disability, inclusion only matters to people who are being excluded. It shouldn't be that way. Inclusion should be important to every single person in this community. It is a human right to be able to have your religion, yes, and your sexual orientation, your disability, every protected right for humans. That's what we should be standing for. We are the leaders in this community. People are looking to us to stand up for what we believe in and what is right. And what I believe is right, and I'm getting a little antsy here, what I believe is right is inclusion. So let's boldly lead this community. Let's say yes to that flag.
You're here.
Any other comments?
I believe that Hope is an inclusive community. I do also agree, though, that if we are going to approve the flying of any flag for any group, I think we're opening the door to allow many different groups to come forward. And I think we're opening ourselves up for other groups saying, you know, well, they were included, we need to be included. I agree that I think that we do need to sort of just stay where we're at, and we can show our support in other ways.
So,
I'd like to comment again.
yeah.
I would like-
you have a comment?
Sorry, yes, I do have another comment. I would like you to consider the damage that could be done to our community morale by not allowing the Pride flag to be flown during Pride Month. If we offend some groups, so be it, by flying it, but we're not going to hurt anybody by flying it. If we decide that we are not going to acknowledge Pride Month and acknowledge all of the people in our community who are members of that community, we can cause real emotional harm by letting them think that we don't welcome them, that we don't support them, and that our community is intolerant of diversity. And I don't think that's a good thing for a community to show.
So, I need a seconder on the motion, Councillor Stewart. Do I have a seconder?
We need to have, sorry, I
We
don't know
need a
what the
motion.
motion is.
Oh, she hadn't read the motion yet?
I don't have a motion on the
Oh,
table.
sorry, I thought Councillor Stewart had a motion. It was just a little emotional.
It was really emotional, and I apologize. I'm getting really good at apologizing, so I apologize. I will make a motion, though.
Okay.
And I will make a motion that the Council for the District of Hope supports and raising of the flag from June 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2023, and direct staff to make the arrangements. Please,
Can I
second.
get a seconder? So I'm going to call for the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. Would you like your...
It failed.
It failed, yeah, it failed.
Would Councillor Stewart and Sador like their opposition listed for the record?
On the record?
please?
Yes, please.